Hey folks, how's it going? This is Gabian in his van. I got Yard Kitty over there, and I got Diane right here, and we're gonna, I'm gonna start off with, I got a little bone to pick. Something happened. I'm gonna tell you a little story about this. I went to the local comic book shop the other day. My LCS is what they call it, and I call it local, but I got to drive an hour to get to it. And so I don't get there very often, and so I like to get books that are special and things like that. Well, I was shopping around in the comic book shop, and they had these comic books lined up on the walls, and I guess that's where they keep their special comic books. I don't know, but I saw one that looked really nice, and I wanted to get it, and so I asked the guy to get it for me, and I was checking out and all that, and after I bought it, I was like, man, I told the guy, man, I can't wait to bring this home, crack it open, and I'm gonna read this comic book. And he looked at me like I was dumb. And I said, and he said, well, you're not supposed to crack that open. Let me show it to you right here. It's in a case, right? I got a comic book, it's in a case, and it cost me a little bit of money, but I thought, well, that's going to be a special read. I can't wait to go home and read it. Well, it turns out that people pay this company here, CGC, they pay CGC Universal Grade to grade these comics. So they get the book and they grade it. They don't even read the comic book when they grade it. They don't grade it off of, the story or anything. They just look at the cover, is what the guy told me. They look at the cover and they tell me, oh, this is going to be this grade because it's based on, this and that. And that I don't understand that. Why do people buy comics and they can't read it? They can't open it to read it. Not only that, but they pay this guy, the CGC guy, they pay him money to put it in this thing, and he can't even read it. That really grinds my gears. This one here, I can't even read, because if I read it, I mean, what's it worth if you read it? Someone paid good money to put it in here. It's Bettie Page, volume 6, number 2 is what it is. They gave it a 9.8, whatever that means. They didn't even read the story. So I don't understand that. So if you're ever going to go to the comic book store and you see these in a case like this, don't buy it. You're not going to want to buy it because you can't even read it. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Man, that really ticked me off this week when I went there, because like I said, I can't get there very often. So this is a conspiracy here. This is a conspiracy. They want you to send in your comic books. They're going to grade it. They're not even going to read it to tell you what what's in it, to how do you know, and then they put it, they charge you money to put it in this case and tell you what they think it's worth. I mean, this is, if I had this comic book without the case, and I could read it, I could tell you what I thought of it. I tell you every week what I think of it. I give it a 1 out of 5 star rating, and and that's reliable. This, you don't even know what it is. What is a 9.8? 9.8. Well, they scale through 10? That's ridiculous. It's not even a star or anything. So I just don't understand it. That just really pisses me off. So if you're a comic book collector, stay away from these comic books when sealed up, because you're just giving your money away to this guy, this CGC guy, and what for? You can't even read it. You can't even read the goddamn comic. That's ridiculous. I don't understand it at all. I'm going to hold on to this, and maybe one day I'll crack it open and read it. I don't know. Maybe I'll find one like this in the comic book store. I'll have to see. But this is one comic book I cannot review for you right now because it's in this damn case. This CGC. That good money got put in there. I thought I was paying a lot of money because it was a good story. No, I'm not. It's because it was in a sealed case, and I'm giving this money to this guy. You can't even read it. I don't believe it. I can't believe it at all. And that just really ticked me off this week, and I just want to vent. I just don't know what more to say about it. It's just ridiculous. You just can't That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, is buying a comic in a case, paying a guy good money to put it in a case. That's damn ridiculous. So I can't review this comic for you this week, but I do have some comic books, a couple of really good ones. So stick around and let's see what kind of grade I'm gonna give them, okay? Dave is gonna review some comic books. He's gonna tell you what he thinks. He's gonna give it a 5-star rating, a 1 out of 5 of them stars. All right, y'all. So this week I got a couple of good ones. I'm gonna show you what they're all about. Let's go ahead and start off with this first one. It's from 1985. It's called Mazin Man. It's called Mazin Man, and this one specifically is called Writer's Block. And then down here it says Green Lantern number 200 is a very special issue. So I'm gonna take their word for it. I'm gonna look out for that Green Lantern number 200. It's by DC. So DC in 1980, I said 1985. This is issue number 5, 75 cents. You can't beat that. In Canada, it was 95. So this is going to be a good one, I believe. Let's see here. Yep. I was all right. 1985. This is it says secreted by Stephen DeStefano and Bob Rozakis. So Carl Kegel did the inking, Bob Lappin did the blocking and lettering, Tom Ziuko did the coloring, Alan Gold, he did the blocking and the stacking, and then the knocking down. That's kind of funny. They got some guest artists in here, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez and Pablo Marcos. They did pages 4 through 6. Denny's Cowan and Dick Giordano did page 8 through 10. Joe Orlando did page 12 through 14, and Kurt Schaffenberger, he did pages 18 through 20. Now this is about this character named Denton. He's got like a dog head on him, and he's got writer's block. So it starts off with he's writing on his typewriter, you know, and he's he's got writer's block, and he doesn't know what to say, and his friend Mazin Man comes in, said he's got this phone call. He's got this phone call from his boss there, I guess, and so his boss is like, you got to give me them pages. You got to give me them pages. You got to, I gotta push this through. And he's writing something about this Spudman or something. Yeah, Spudman is, I guess, what he's writing about. We don't hear about that, just what he's trying to write about. So his manager hangs up the phone with him. He's like, Mazin Man, I got this writer's block. I don't know what to do. And this gets Mazin Man thinking, and then this girl comes in, his sister. I guess Denton's sister comes in. Her name's like KP or something. And she's like, oh, she came home from the grocery store. She did all the shopping. She's like, oh, you got some writer's block? Well, I can help you with that. And then she goes on and she tells a story, and this is where I guess the illustrators come in, the different ones, because it's a little bit different drawings and things like that. And so she tells this love story about this girl who's cooped up in her house because her dad won't let her go out. And this fancy guy comes in. He's like, come with me, marry me, and I'll make your life better and all that. And because she didn't want to be in that house any longer. So it turns out that rich man lives on this boat, and it makes her scrub the deck all the time. She's just on her knees scrubbing the deck, and she's like, oh, what did I get myself into? So she's scrubbing the deck, and she's falling in love with these other guys because, her husband doesn't treat her right. And so this swashbuckler guy saves her from the boat, and so she's, she ends up going to this other place, this Taj Mahal kind of place, and she's gonna marry this Taj Mahal king and whatnot. And so when she does, she thought she lived like a queen, but nope, she's over there scrubbing the floors again. Well, this Taj Mahal king guy there's this prisoner that comes in. He's some scientist or something, and he gets put in the prison, And she's like, oh, here's my chance. I'm gonna go save him, and I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna say, hey, if I save you, will you come and rescue me and take me away from this place? And he's like, yeah, I'm a scientist. I won't make you scrub no floors or nothing. So they fall in love, and then it turns out she's got to scrub the telescope lenses and things. And he's like, you never said anything about not doing glass. So that was her story. And he's like, yo, that's fine and all, but I got to write about this Spud man, all right? Then this guy, his name is Guido, comes in. He's the neighbor. I don't care for the name. It's a little racist, but that's his name. And he's going to come in. He's going to tell him a story because he's like, I heard you got writer's block. I'm going to tell you this story. So he's all zooming around. He's telling a story about zooming around in a car, and I guess this is where the other illustrator comes in. So he's like this 007 kind of guy zooming around with this pretty girl, and he's like, I got to get on this boat to get this bad guy because this bad guy's going away on this yacht. And so he jumps in this boat, and he's got another pretty girl riding the boat. And he's like, that yacht's too fast for this boat. And so I'm going to stop him. And so he pulls out this little pen from his jacket, little writer's pen. He's like, what are you going to do, write him a bad review or something? That's kind of funny. And he's like, nope. And then the pen turns into a bazooka. Can you believe it? And then the bazooka, shoots the yacht, blows it up. But the bad guy escapes with the jetpack. And so he's flying away on that jetpack. He's like, the girl's hitting on him, say, hey, you want to go, for dinner or something. He's like, nope, I got to go get this guy. So he jumps on this helicopter where this other pretty girl's, riding the helicopter. And he chases the bad guy all the way to, it looks like China or something. And he's walking in China, and there's this man, panhandling. He's like, here you go, I'm going to give you some money because I'm a rich guy and you need some money. Buy yourself a tin cup is what he says. And then these 3 karate guys come in. Big guys, no karate and everything. He's like, oh, this old guy sent you, the guy he's been chasing. He sent you to beat me up. Well, give him a message for me. And he whoops all their asses, and he's like, tell him that I'm going to come after him. And he's like, but you don't have to. I'll tell him myself. And in the meantime, he punches that guy too, the beggar guy, who he gave money to. And he said he suspected that he was the bad guy all along. He rips his wig off, and he's like, see, that's the bad guy. And then Denton's like, oh yeah, that's great and all, but it's not what I'm looking for, and I don't need your help. I didn't ask for your help or any of this. So, he's kind of cranky throughout this whole thing because he's got to, write this story for his boss. Well, then this couple comes in. They're all necking on each other and stuff like that. And they barge in, and they're like, you know what? I heard you had writer's block. I'm going to try to help you out. And so first the guy's telling him about this horror story, right? He's like, they're starting to drive in. You got these zombies coming, and these zombies attack this couple, and then they're running, and then behind the drive-in there's a graveyard and everything, and it's kind of swampy, and they get stuck in the quicksand and everything, and then the guy's like, oh, I'm a scientist, but I play football. So he grabs the girl out of the quicksand, and they run along, and all the zombies disappear because I guess they outrun them or something. And then they run into this guy with a chainsaw. He's murdering people with a chainsaw. And they're all like trying to get in the gas station, but this guy's chasing them with a chainsaw. And so they're knocking on the door, and the guy opens the door, and he's like, oh, that's my brother. He's trying to kill you, and I'm going to let him. And then, so they get chased by both of them. And that's pretty much where he ends off. And Denton's like, I got to write this story, I don't need your help. I don't want your help or anything. So then the couple's all flirting and stuff. He was going to tell a story about how, women, they need more respect in the comic books and stuff. But I don't think she got a chance to read her story, turns out, because her boyfriend was all hitting on her and everything. Then Amazing Man runs through the door, right? And Denton's on to him. Denton's like, Amazing Man, you're sending all these people over here to try to help me because I said I had writer's block. I don't need that. I need everyone to leave me alone. And he's like, you know what? let me give you a story. Let me give you a story, Den. So Amazing Man tells him a story about this superhero guy who's like, I love this community, everything's perfect. And then a thief runs out of this thing, and the store owner's like, hey, thief, stop this thief. And of course, the hero guy stops the thief, and he's like, I want you to live a good life. I don't want you to be thieving nothing, And then he helps this old lady across the street, and then, he's a good guy and everything. So this reporter comes, he's like, I want everyone to know about you, so I'm gonna write a story about you. So he interviews him, and all the time he's got this mask on, he's always on the lookout for danger. And this kid, he walks out in front of this car, and so he's got to stop the interview, this superhero, and he rescues the kid. And they get it on camera and everything, and he turns out to be this big hero. They give him the key to the city, the mayor does, and everything. And the mayor's like, why do you always wear that mask? Don't you want people to know who you are so they can say hi to you and everything? And the superhero said, yeah, you're right. And he takes off the mask, and it turns out that it was Denton all along. So Amazing Man, he has the head of Denton, and I thought that was kind of sweet. But then Denton fell asleep while he was telling the story, so he didn't really get to hear any of it. And he gets griped out by all his friends and everything that are there, and they're like, you really shouldn't do that. That was a sweet story. You should really pay attention. We're just trying to help you. And so they all leave, and they go out for pizza and everything, because they're mad at Denton. And Denton's like, finally I get to write and do my job and write. And then he's got this idea. He's like, you know what? I got this idea. And so he calls his boss, and he's like, I got an idea for you. It's about writer's block. It's about this, this guy and all his friends. He's got writer's block. All his friends come in, try to help him write this thing, and he can't do it. And they tell him all these different stories. And then the boss is like, well, is Spudman in it? And he's like, no, I'll throw Spudman in there for you. And so that was kind of the end of that, and that was kind of sweet. That was kind of a cool little... Pardon me, my phone got stopped. So I'm going to give this Amazing Man, I'm going to give it 5 stars, and definitely going to bag this one up. This one's going to be a bagger because that was really sweet, and if you're feeling down and lonely and everything like that, then you're going to want to pick up this comic, and you're going to want to read it for other times and things like that. So we're going to bag her up, and we're going to give it 5 stars for that one. That was a really sweet story and all. Now my next one, I don't want to give too much away, but this is one of my favorite comics that I've read so far, and I highly recommend it to everybody else. It's a Eclipse comic, and it came from hell through the rent cycle. Dr. Stern is Mr. Monster, and this one here is number 6. Made in 1986, and that was a really good year for comics. If you look at the comics in 1986, they got some good comics coming out. This was $1.75 in the USA, $2.50 in Canada, and it says, yep, half a cup for a top loader, Doc. Now you, Glub, tell me. And it's got him there, and this is Simdasun is 1986 is who did the cover here. And so this one's a real fun comic to read. I can't wait to read the other ones. I got to get them, and so I'm definitely going to get the other ones of these, because all the artwork and all the lettering and just everything about this comic book, creativity-wise, is just excellent. The writing, the drawings, all the art and the lettering, even down to the lettering, and it's so full of detail that this is such a really great book, and I think you're going to enjoy as much as I have. So it's by Michael T. Gilbert and Brian Buniak. He pencils it, and Brian Prager and Michael T. Gilbert did the script. Don Simpson inks, and Ken Brusnak letters. Cat Target sign, he's the executive editor, and then Ray Fuhrenbach does the coloring. The coloring is amazing here too. So this is a really good book. This one is this section now comes in different sections, and this one is the main story is Bubble Bath from the Damned, and it's Laundry Day. And Mr. Monster here, Dr. Stern, he's trying to do laundry on his own. And his assistant, Kelly's in the background. She's like, you know what? It's the weekend. I'm not going to help you at all. But she's over there reading her comic or reading some kind of book. And so she's kind of helping him, telling him what to do, but she's not helping him otherwise. And she's telling him how to do it and everything. And so he's smoking his pipe, trying to do his laundry and asking these questions. Meanwhile, underneath his house, there's a bunch of rats and this rat creature guy, and that's a really cool design too on that rat creature face. He's the Deacon of Brimstone, and he's got a rat man of the lower metropolis, and so they're menacing him. And what they did is they put a bunch of like poison in the water because they want to kill Dr. Stern and take over the city and things like that. Meanwhile, Dr. Stern, he has no idea. He's up there, doing laundry and everything. Finally, he gets the laundry going. He's putting the soap in there, and then the soap like just blows up out of the washing machine and turns into this big old soap monster. And he calls it the bubble bath of the damned. I think that was pretty funny. All that lettering in here is really good. And he's like, I got to defeat this soap monster. And Kelly's over there sleeping because, it's the weekend. She don't want to deal with any of it. And he's soaking his guns for some reason. I don't think you soak your guns, but he's soaking his guns, and that's why he says he can't get to his guns. So he's trying to fight this soap monster. It's eating away at his clothes. It's, eating everything up. And so he's over here beating him up and everything. And the rat guy thinks that he's, he can only hear it. He thinks he's killing this Dr. Stern and everything, but nope, he's not. And then Kelly wakes up and Dr. Monster is like fighting this monster, fighting this other monster, soap monster guy. And Kelly's like, only you could do this, you can't do laundry and something will start off, So she's yawning and well, she knows how to fix it, I think. So, and he's over there struggling with this soap monster. He finally gets his guns and they're dry and everything. And so he shoots at this bubble monster and he thinks he's killing the monster. But really, Kelly is the one. She's got the water and she's spraying him down. And that's what's really killing the soap monster. And, with no effort, she's over there just doing that. And he's over there, guns a-blazing and everything. So he thinks he kills the soap monster, and he's like, okay, done with that. But then the floor falls through and he's covered by these rat guys, and he's like, oh, it's that Brimstone character, oh, I'm gonna get you. So he disappears in the hole, and he comes back out of the hole eventually. He's like, I killed all the rat guys, but Brimstone got away. And then the Kelly's like, I guess you're gonna have to wear a different outfit because yours, the red one you're wearing is all ruined, so you're gonna have to, wear the green one. And that's kind of where that story ends. That was kind of fun. That was kind of a fun story. Now this is a Mr. Monster guy. I wonder who came first, the Tick or Mr. Monster, because he reminds me of the Tick, where someone else is always saving the day. Anyway, something to think about. And then Mr. Monster's he came back and he's going to tell a story about something else. And what they do is they're going to retell this story from in 1986. They're going to retell this story from 1954, The Fantastic Fears #5. So they're just redoing another story in the middle of this comic book. So really you get like 2 or 3 comic books out of this. You can't beat that at all. And this one's called Stretching Things. And it's got this guy, he's all beat up, he breaks his bones a lot. And the doctor calls him and he's like, I got this special solution and turn your bones into rubber so don't break so much. He's like, okay, I'll try it. So he's been taking these pills and everything, and he healed up and all that, and then he drops his typewriter on his foot and it bounces off his foot, and he's like, hey, that's interesting. I wonder what else I can do. So he stretches his arms down and they stretch out, and like rubber, like his bones are made of rubber. And he's like, oh, this is great. I'm gonna make so much money just doing stuff with this thing because no one else can. And then he remembers that the doctor that gave it to him, he has the secrets and he's got the pills and everything that he got it from. So he wants to go kill that doctor. So he's the only one that can stretch around with the rubber bones. So he calls the doctor, sets up an appointment. and then he goes in there and he kills that doctor. And someone saw him, and they're like, please get this man. So the guy with the rubber bones, he moves his face around so they can't tell who he is. Well, it turns out that he got stuck that way with this messed up face. So he's like, no, and then he runs into this other doctor that was friends with the other doctor, and he's like, help me, you know, he gave me these pills and it turned my face all messed up. So this doctor gives him wants to give him this syringe to fix it, and then meanwhile, he's like thinking, the rubber man is thinking, well, if he knows how to fix it, and he's friends with the other doctor, he's going to know that I killed that doctor, so I'm going to have to kill this doctor. So the rubber man steals the potion, and he kills the doctor with that potion that he was about to give him. And he's like, oh no, now I don't know how much to give myself to fix myself with this potion. I'm going to be stuck like this. So he just puts a whole bunch in him, and these cops come in and chase him down and chase him around, and it turns out he took too much of that. And he's like, yeah, just come and get me. And he just kind of melts into a puddle on the floor and dies. But he feels like he got away with something. I don't know. And then the next story, that's the end of that story. And we got yet another story. We're going back to Dr. Stearns. And there's people that are killing in this story. There's people that are getting killed off. And they're trying to figure out who's doing it. And he figures out that it's this antique store guy is Ecodermos, and so they do a little bit of research, and they realize that's this antique store that's been around for hundreds of years, and they even built a mall over it. It's been around for that long. And so he's like, you know what, I'm gonna go to this mall, I'm gonna talk to this guy, because it turns out the people that buy the antiques, they take it home, and this Echinoderm guy, he goes in and he kills them, gets the antiques back, takes it to his store, and rinse and repeat. He does that over and over again. That's what all these people have in common. So he goes to this mall, trying to find this guy, and this security guard's like, Echinoderm, I don't know where that place is. Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's the like Junkorama or something like that. Monsters R Us. I don't know. He's got a clever name for it. And he goes in, and Mr. Monster goes in. He's like, hey, I know who you are, talking to the owner of the shop. I know who you are. I know what you're up to. I'm Mr. Monster, and I'm gonna kill you. And all the while, the owner's turning into this big green monster guy with big old teeth like a worm, and it's crazy cool. You gotta look at it. And so they get in this battle, and they all go tossle around a little bit. The monster's biting them, and he's shooting them with the guns and everything. And eventually, Mr. Monster gets his head all, got bit. He's like he's suffocated and getting bit by the head, and he's losing the battle. Well, it turns out the security guard comes in and shoots him, and he's like, I killed him for you, because Mr. Monster thought he killed him, but the security guard came in and shot his brains out. He's like, I got it, I did it, I was helping you, I did a good thing. And Mr. Monster's all mad because he wanted to kill the monster. And so the security guard runs out and says, okay, I'm gonna go get the cops, I'm sorry, I was just trying to help. And then there's this one antique thing left, a little vase that was left, and he's like, well, that was the only thing that survived the battle. And so he went over there, he's so mad, he crushed that vase, and it was pretty fun. And he walked out, and he's like, he feels like he did a good thing there. So that was that story. So you get like 3 stories in this comic book, and that artwork, the lettering, and everything is just amazing. If I could give it 6 stars, I would, but I only have a 5-star rating. So I'm definitely going to give this one 5 stars, and I'm going to definitely bag it up. And if I see any more of these, I'm going to buy them, because that was a really good story, and I recommend you buy them too. And it's Mr. Monster comic books from Eclipse. So yeah, definitely going to bag that one up. What a great story. What a fun ride. So I'd give these 5 stars and definitely bag them up. We got Amazing Man. I got Mr. Monster. Definitely go, if you see these, make sure you pick them up. All right, and that's all I got for you this week. Stay tuned for next week. I'm going to have 2 great comic books for you. Take care.